on their backs. I just want to be out of this house.
Yes.
And what is the first thing we can afford, and how can we juggle 2 jobs? So I would do 2 jobs. In the morning, I was a dentist, and in the afternoon, they couldn't find an assistant. I would be the assistant for the other dentist.
Wow.
So that we could start paying off. Now, you say that to your children, and they go, "We heard it, Mom. We're not you." Well, I don't care how you're doing it, but
Just
zip
do it.
Just do it.
Zip
Just do it. Yeah.
You
Roll up your
know?
sleeves.
Like, there's
roll
no
up
jobs.
Yeah.
Be an Uber driver. Ooh, me with these nails? Yeah, you with those nails.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're right, Meeka. They are selling them this Kool-Aid of it's all.
Yeah.
Look at the price of homes.
Yeah.
Look at the price of the
They're
theater.
disempowering the
They're
next generation.
disempowering.
And they're disempowering, every generation. I think.
But
It's
I
not
do
just
want to
that.
ask all of you a question.
Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go.
Welcome to the Ladies of Power podcast. Today, we are going to be talking everything money. Ooh. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beliefs about money, where they come from, how do we use it, what do we think about it, do we give it away, are we earning what we're worth? Ooh. So many yummy topics.
So good.
Who wants to go first?
I'll share first.
Okay.
Because this image has stayed in my mind forever. I guess in my family, my mom kept saying money brings nothing but trouble. Too much money is not right. If people are super rich, they probably earned it the wrong way. Or there was always a negative connotation about money. And what was the guy's name, Meeka? Harv Eker. He used to be huge. And I remember going to one of his episodes, and he asked the audience to give each other some, like $100 bills. Do you remember that?
We're in Millionaire Mind Intense.
Yes.
That was great.
And then he said, okay, now I want you to get the money that you just got and tear it in two. And a lot of people went, no. And I went, bang. And then and I thought I was being so smart, right? And he says to me, well, the people who just tore their money have a really bad relationship with money, and they're never going to get rich in their life because if they disrespect money that much, if you treat it, it's still a form of energy, and if you mistreat it so much, you're never gonna get it. So I was just licking my 2 hands, trying to put them together. I didn't want to be that girl that didn't. But I guess I didn't value it if I tore my $100, and it was maybe because I thought in my mind that if you keep it, then you're the bad person, because you're supposed to. It should be disposable. Now, I don't know how I really feel about money, but that day I kind of thought, well, maybe he's right. Maybe money should be respected. And years later, with Tony Robbins, he said, when you earn money, you divide it into 3 sections. 1/3 you save, 1/3 you spend, and it's your play money, and 1/3 is to give away. But I think the government takes our 1/3 away, so we don't have to worry about that. It's more than 1/3 away. So I guess with the money I have now, I do 1/3 myself, 1/3 saving, and 1/3 either I do charity or I do for like vacations, big vacations. If we're going to go somewhere, I save it up. And I know one of Meeka's favorite questions was, do we share money things with our husbands or not? And this is going to be opening a whole pot of worms because women all have their ideas. But I got my own personal account. that I put my hard-earned money in, and if I feel like I should buy my kids a gift out of that or myself a gift out of that, then my husband doesn't get to see it, and he's happy that way because he stresses when he knows what I spend. And now, what did you spend on a pair of shoes? Like, why would you do that? Because he would never. But this way, out of his sight, out of his mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have an account, and I call it me account, and a little bit of money goes in there every month.
Would you say that a part of your success then on how you've managed money comes from that experience at Millionaire Mind Intensive?
Yeah.
So one experience can really change your, maybe this will change your life.
Yeah. I don't remember anything else from hours of sitting there, but I remember tearing that money, and I was one of the very few who did it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Who else separates their money? I think this one's juicy.
Do you? Do you?
We don't.
You have
We
the same
don't.
account.
Yeah.
And he never says anything about why.
No, I never say.
Oh, that's right.
My
He
dear,
and her husband are
He's the
two-
shopper.
Yeah, he's the
He
shopper.
and my husband are two peas in a pot. Yeah.
That's right. He is the consumer. He's the shopper. He's the one who loves to buy new gadgets and really check them out and be ahead of the curve. But he's changing. So he's changing. But yeah, definitely he's the spender. And I'm the saver in our relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that great? How about you?
We have separate accounts.
Okay.
And I don't know what I would say.
For everything, Gurvinder, or just you have your own separate account for your things? And
Yeah, I have my own separate account for our things, and there's a bunch of things that I take care of, and he has his account and all the different things that he takes care of. So we've divvied up everything. Like, you take care of this, I take care of this, and it just works.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
My way isn't fair. It's like, what's his money is my money, and what's my money is my money. But he does take care of. In that account, every household thing is taken care of.
Yeah.
Right.
But say one of the kids really wants a dress, and my husband would say, that's ridiculous. That's too expensive. They'll come to me, and I'll go, yeah, okay, we can afford it. And it goes into my spare account.
Yeah.
And I'll buy it for them.
I think that's the key word. We can afford it.
Mhm.
You know, when you get to a place where you've worked your whole life, you've invested, you're rewarding yourself by being able to say yes to your kids because you can. And it's different when people are, and I was in this box for a long time in my 20s, spending beyond my means. You know, they hand out credit cards like candy when you're young,
Yes, they
and
do.
you have no concept. They don't teach you how to make money at school. They don't teach you accounting. They don't teach you how to, I mean, in university they do. I didn't get that far. But they don't teach you how to pay your taxes or balance a budget. I mean, none of that stuff was taught. So where are we supposed to learn it? So I'm like, oh, I want this. I want this. The people who have all these things are the ones that seem to be really popular. I want to be really popular, so I'm going to go buy these things.
Yeah.
And it was beyond the means. So to get to a place where you are then spending because you can afford it, that's a very different place.
Right.
And you know, that reminds me of, again, one of the beautiful things that I experience from all of you is the generosity, because you've worked so hard in your lives and you've saved in times of your life so that you could give back. You're also generous in giving back, not just in your communities, but with our lunches, with, you know, whatever it is. And I grew up with a lot of penny pinching. And although my parents, I mean, my dad would give the shirt off of his back. If he had 50 cents and someone needed $1, he'd borrow 50 cents to give that person $1. I mean, and it left us, you know, a lot of great lessons in that. And one of them was we didn't really have anything because he loved to give it away, which there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, until a point. And then there's the side where you're giving away beyond that, where if you have something beautiful and somebody loves it and you're able to just say, here, you have it. I mean, that was in a previous episode that we recorded. It's a beautiful story. And it's just beautiful to be able to give when you have enough to give. And even if you only have 10 cents to give, if you're giving 10 cents, then that shows, I think, a lot of character of your giving. Like my dad role modeled so beautifully, and I think my grandparents did as well, which is probably where he gets it. And that's that generational belief that we could touch on here as well. I don't know if I wrap that up very well. I feel like I'm all over the place a little bit here. I love that you are able to give whatever you want, whenever you want to. Like, you know what? Dinner's on me. It's a $3,000 dinner. It's all good. It's on me. I just want to be able to do that. At this point, I can buy a coffee behind me, or I can see somebody in the grocery store with a bunch of kids and doesn't seem to have a whole lot, and be able to pay that, groceries and just walk away without needing a thank you. I want to go to that next level. I want to be able to donate $10,000 to a dog rescue, or whatever. I really am driven. A lot of the reasons I'm so driven by this podcast to add tremendous value is in hopes that the value will be seen by others, so that we can be able to contribute on a larger scale, maybe however that looks. I'm so driven to work. So many people are like, why do you still want to make money? You've already done this, and this. It's time to relax. No. We're just getting started.
Yes, we are.
And it comes down to money a lot of times for people. We've got enough money. We don't need to work anymore. Well, then work for others. Add value, contribute, do something for someone else. It doesn't have to be for you.
I think what you said about balance, Meeka, is so important. Is how much of your money can you give, and how much is going to be a hardship on your family. I mean, that's a big thing. I don't think if your house is burning, you're running to your neighbors trying to put the fire out there is really charitable. You got to save your own house well. You got to be able to put that fire out first. But, if it's between giving my kid a Gucci shoe and buying food for a kid that doesn't have any, then it's way more kinder and charitable. Because yes, I can buy my friends a $3,000 dinner, but what you do in supermarket paying for that family is way more valuable. Because my friends could bloody well buy their own dinners, so that's just the whatever.
It's not a comparison, though.
It isn't.
It's
but,
not.
But it's just whatever you can do in whatever capacity. But generosity doesn't even have. My father was always pay for dinners, for family dinners. My uncle, who was an ENT specialist, and
what's that?
Ear, nose, throat specialist, and way wealthier than us, never offered to pay. Like he penny pinched. Some of the wealthiest people I know are the cheapest people I know.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Like beliefs, like
I think it's a belief system, or it's or my father used to laugh and say that's why they became the richest people. Like I know one of the richest people in town who's got a house in British properties. This lady, wherever she used to go to McDonald's, she would like hoard the tomato ketchup once, so she didn't have to buy ketchup. Now, if you can't, buy your next meal, I get it. But if you have millions of dollars, I think it's also psychological.
100%.
How do you relate money? How do you think of it as energy? Like Sandeep was saying, really, money is energy. It's a form of transferring energy. And somehow in my head, at some point, I'm convinced that the more I give, the more it comes back to me. And for some reason, that's been validated. So I give more because I know it comes back. I get excited about that. In times that I given to the charity and the office was doing really bad, say I gave 20,000, say just a number. And all of a sudden, somebody walked in last minute and did a $20,000 case and just replaced that deficit.
Wow.
Like, and I started paying attention and going, well, how come I didn't? And then I gave and then it just came. So I did more of it, and somehow it always worked in my life.
Beautiful exchange.
Yeah, I'm just learning this now. So this is such a really current topic for me. And listening to all of you, the complexities and the thoughts that are just going through my mind, I've really in the middle of an education around money. So this is something that I'm still I would say in the middle of. So when I go back, I think I've learned the words scarcity and abundance mindset.
Yes.
Never in a million years would I have thought that I came under the scarcity mindset, given the lifestyle that I live. It's a very, very privileged, beautiful lifestyle, yet there is a scarcity mindset. And I know where it comes from because I've had the conversations with my parents. And so when I checked in on their childhoods, my father was the youngest of 7 siblings, and he was the first to be sent to Canada. And the responsibility that he carried was he was to earn and send back. Earn and send back, earn and send back. And my grandfather chose him because he knew he was the one that would take it the most seriously, the responsibility. He wouldn't sort of and he did it to such a degree that he really didn't have much saved up after the 3 years that he was here. Now, my dad also talked a lot about that. So he talked a lot about, and then he went back to India, married my mom, and she came from a more well-to-do family. So she didn't really grow up with restrictions around money. My dad came from, his family was definitely, they had more poverty in the family. So 7 siblings plus my grandfather adopted several of his nieces, nephews, even grandsons who had lost their mothers. So it was a really big family, not a lot of money. And I can't tell you how much my dad talked about the value of a penny, the value of a penny, the value of a penny. And I think, when you come to this country, and this isn't every immigrant story by any means, this just happens to be my parents or my dad specifically. But his story was really, save your money, value a penny. And he would tell me stories about how on Friday at work, the payday would come. And he said, so many of my coworkers, they're so excited. They go out to the restaurants and they have beers and they drink. And he goes, and then by the next payday, they've got no money left.
Yeah.
And he was just instilling these lessons because I think when you come here and you build yourself up from nothing. You really are there's a fear around that, right?
Yes.
What I'm building up, I don't really want my children to not understand and then lose. So given who I was, maybe it landed differently if it was a different daughter. But for me, it landed this is really my responsibility. I really got to take this and run the rest of my life with this lesson. And my poor children. So now we talk about generational stuff. And there's I call it the famous story in our family. It's the gelato story, right? So we're in Italy many years ago. And, I'm aware of the budget. I'm aware of the money because growing up, my mom did that in our family.
Poor children, you're in Italy.
Yeah. Poor children. Yeah.
Yeah, but the father saved.
Yeah,
That's
father
why.
saved.
The
Yeah, no,
father saved.
exactly. The whole thing makes no sense as I'm about to share this. So we're in Italy. We have a gelato, whatever. It's in my mind, I'm calculating, €7 is $11, whatever. I just can't help it. That's just how my brain works. And I embrace it. It's okay. This is my story. And so I am shifting. But our daughter asked for a second gelato. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I can't believe she doesn't understand that she already had a 7 or 8 euro gelato in 2017. What the heck? And I'm sitting there giving her grief over it for 20 minutes, brought her to tears. Because I was like, do you not understand the value of $1 or a penny? What the heck? I have failed you as a mother. And I'm just going on and on and on. And it wasn't even in that moment, I'm not proud to say. It wasn't even a year later, I'm not proud to say. It was years later that incident came back to me as I'm kind of understanding myself and my mindset, where I realized, oh my gosh, that was my dad's story. I can honor my dad without taking on his story, without taking on that I grew up in poverty. I didn't grow up in poverty. I grew up with 2 hardworking parents, and, they were very fortunate to have stable jobs. They were very fortunate that they knew how to save, and we didn't have a lot of luxury, but we had what we needed. So we were never needing for anything. But I realized that it's not my story. Why am I carrying this story with such like a cape? I'm the poor girl. I'm the poor girl of the poor father, from the village, and I must maintain that story for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And there came a day where I'm like, I love my dad. I love his story, but it's no longer mine to carry. And we can't afford the gelato. We can afford more in Italy. Oh my God, we're in Italy and France. And I'm worried about a €7 gelato. But that's the crazy mindset.
Yeah.
And that incident is probably what sparked me, like the question marks, because maybe there's an incident that has to happen that feels so icky.
Mhm.
You see your child suffering. She doesn't understand. What is she talking about? Like 4-second gelato. And I'm looking at her going, why doesn't she understand? Oh, because she's not me. She hasn't been raised by a father that grew up in the village and didn't have a lot of money and came here and that's all he's talked about. Yet on the other hand, my dad was so generous.
Yeah.
So just very, like you said, if anybody needed help, relatives were coming from out of country, no problem taking care of them. When they chose things to, buy in the home, always top quality. Like his speaker system was 15 years ahead of everybody else, So it's just picky and choosy. But could he buy himself a regular price shirt? Not very often. He'd buy it on sale, but then he'd buy 10 of them. So it ended up being the same cost. But what I'm saying is, I guess so I'm learning that I had this scarcity mindset, which was to save every penny. And as I learn about the energy of money, the more you hold on to it, the less you have of it, or the less that wants to come to you, because you're kind of like just so tight. And so there's such a fear around losing what you've built.
Yes.
And then I marry a man who also, we realized in our, processing here, also came from scarcity mindset, even though he was such a spender. But his scarcity mindset, we're discovering, came from, I've got money now. It may not last. I got to get rid of it. So let me just spend it away.
Okay.
So we're very different, because I'm always like, oh, I wish I could be more like him. And, he's so good. He just buys what he wants. But no, his was to another degree. So now you put the two of us together, and we're not a great combination here, right? Because one's fearful around it, so is the other, but in different ways. And now we're coming together and really learning about an abundance mindset, about the energy of money. And the more you give, the more you receive. And when you do get a massive bill, we joke now. We joke so much. It's funny. We'll get a massive bill and we'll be like, what a pleasure.
Yes.
From David Guillaume. He's a fellow we watch on Instagram. And so we look at each other like, what a pleasure. What a joy. Oh, so happy to give this away. And with a certainty that it may come back. It may not. But being detached to that and just believing that we have more than enough. We have more than enough to meet our needs, So that was quite a long story.
No, and it was right to the point. Like what Gurvinder always says, going back to our roots. My husband will always eat what you put on his plate. Even if he's stuffed, he will eat it. Because when he was young, also from a very, very poor family, they always ate what it was there. So it's a joke. We call him the Hoover in the house. Because if you don't want your food and you feel guilty because you don't want to throw it out, you just pile it on dad's plate. And he's got the metabolism. He just doesn't put on weight. So God blessed him with that. But the poor guy, he can't stop it. He can't say no. He can't say, I can't do this. He'll just say, please, guys, I can't eat my I can't. Just stop putting it on my plate.
Oh my God.
But he's a grown man. He's gonna be, he's in his 50s. He's a doctor, and he cannot get out of his conditioning. Maybe you should tap him, Gurvinder.
It is conditioning.
It totally is conditioning, and it's hardwired into our system from our parents, from our grandparents, and from all the other ancestors. All of our ancestors. So I did a couple of workshops with Margaret Lynch Renee. Hey, Margaret. And Margaret has this amazing book called Tapping into Wealth. And through her workshops, I learned that we keep it in our root, in our first chakra, in our nervous system. That's where everything lands. So if I'm tapping with a client, we uncover that their parents said something, their grandparents said something, and there was a scarcity mindset or fear or certain words that the family kept saying. Only crooks have money. They never receive money in the right way. They never share. So all these different phrases we've heard growing up.
Mm-hmm. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Yes.
Rich people are greedy.
Yes.
Yes.
That one
We
especially.
can't afford it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And so over the years, thanks to Margaret, I've really started paying attention. And we're still learning how to change our words around money. Something came in the other day, and my husband said something, and I'm like, and I'm like, you know what? We should change it to thank you. Thank you for allowing us to have X, Y, and Z. I'm like, thank you. And now we get to pay for it. So something close to what you were saying.
Mhm,
Yeah.
We're like,
Just-
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing this to come in, because now we get to experience this, this, and this. But it's really
pleasure.
interesting.
What a
Yeah, what a pleasure.
What a pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Come on, do it with us.
What a pleasure.
It's beautiful.
It's so interesting that it is passed down through multiple generations. And one of the things that I had done in my workshops is I really learned that for women, we weren't able to make money a century ago, or it was very difficult. So this is all new. Women making money, women being able to buy homes, cars, whatever.
Having
So
their own account,
having their own accounts.
their own credit card.
Yeah.
Sounds absurd, and yet it's true.
It is true.
New,
It's-
relatively.
It is new. This is a new time for women. So we carry a lot from my ancestors, where in the past they'd be like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are making money? Who do you think you are that you should make more than him? Who do you think you are? So we're in this new territory of really being able to take care of ourselves if we chose to. So there's a lot of misconceptions that we need to let go of. And I'm still letting go of things.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff that we don't need anymore, but because it's in our nervous system, and sometimes it's just automatic and we don't get it. We're like, oh, I hear this. Like, I heard my parents say so-and-so was a crook. And that's how he got his money. But one of the books I read recently by Wallace D. Wattles from like 1910.
Love Wallace D. Wattles.
Wallace is amazing. He talks about having an abundance mindset. And the reason why it's important to have money is because when we lift ourselves up, we're showcasing to others that they also can do the same thing.
Amen to that. Yeah.
And so he's like, it's important because you can create something. You can build a home for someone. You can build a shelter, or you can do something with that wealth that you have attained and help others in a way that they can lift themselves up.
It must be earned.
Exactly.
We must
Yes.
earn it. There's a
Yes.
sense of pride and ability and confidence that comes through
Yes.
failure, through struggle, through risk, through developing courage and focusing on a goal, working towards something, adding value to a place such that the world appreciates what you're doing because you're adding value. It's supply and demand. I mean, there's so many things attached.
Yes.
We must earn our own. When it's handed over, it is not. There's where the value of the dollar gets lost, I believe. Like, that's such a powerful lesson that your dad taught you. And yeah, there's a time where we then come into our own lessons and we learn from that. And it's so incredibly powerful. Awareness is such a big key.
Yes.
Awareness that we're hoarding, awareness that we're not being responsible, awareness that we really haven't earned it. And that's why there's not a whole lot of value attached to it. Like, I remember my grandmother, God bless her heart, would left her dishes and silverware and everything under her bed until the day she was gone in her 90s, and never used the proper china. You know, it was always for another day. And she raised 9 kids in a 500 square foot 2-bedroom home, 11 of them. And So everything mattered. And the moment they had something that was precious or abundant, as we're referring to, maybe different, it would get tucked away because it just had so much value to it. And we didn't want to risk losing it or breaking it, or are we worthy of it? There's so many questions that can come up around that. And whether it's money, saving it, we could look at something today and say, and it's not, I really age myself every time I hear myself say it, and I'm hoping you can relate. It's like, I remember when this was $3 and now it's $8, and it just feels so much more expensive. And it's not like everything is shifting, and I want to believe, oh my gosh, inflation and everything now, and it's the government's fault, and blah, 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 whatever, all these blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, it's always been, if it's just out of reach, it's expensive. Like whatever it is.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, if it depends what is out of reach. I mean, yes, for me, a private jet will be out of reach. But if I really want to go from here to Italy, I can travel, coach class. I can catch a boat. I can go first class. I can go business class. I can go private jet. Like I remember, again, in one of Tony Robbins's cases that he presented to us, he said, it's just figure out what you want. And, you don't have to have the private island. You can just maybe go there for 2 nights, enjoy it, and come back. You don't have to buy the yacht.
Right.
Right? Like, who wants a yacht? Who wants to be cleaning the damn thing? But just if you want the experience, it's not out of reach. And I go back to doing the 3 ways of saving, putting away for the day that you need, and also giving away. If it's your play money, then you can buy whatever you want with it and don't feel guilty. Give it away, give it to your kids, whatever. Buy yourself that diamond ring. It's the third that you put away, knowing that it was for that specific purpose. But once you start spending your rent money to buy yourself a Cartier bracelet, well, that's and doesn't matter how much you earn, Meeka. I found, like, we've got staff that, team members that are earning $2,000 a month. We have team members that are earning $40,000 a month. And if you ask either of them, they will say, oh, I live paycheck to paycheck. And you go, how's that possible? This girl is making it on 2. This girl can't making it on 40. It's the choices.
That's right.
One of our youngest doctors, they still live at home, and the first thing they bought was a car, and this was a $350,000 car.
Wow.
Like, to this date, I haven't bought myself a 3, and I've worked for 35 years. Priorities with young people. My first priority was save for a home so we can have children. The Gen Z's priority is live for the day, spend all you can, don't worry about tomorrow, it doesn't exist, or it may never exist. So how the young people are looking at money and should they be saving, majority of them are living for the day and not looking for past the next 5 years, or home is not a big investment for them.
It's also beyond reach for a lot of people. Like, the media has really trained the next generation that it's beyond your reach. You're going to be living in your parents' basement. And there's a lost hope that happens.
But it's not true, Meeka.
I experience it with people.
It's true.
It's a belief.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it's
that
a belief.
100% true.
Although it is $100,000 down to buy anything in the Lower Mainland. It's $100,000 down.
But who says they have to be Lower Mainland?
This is true. This is true.
I mean, I told my kids, go to Alberta. They're knocking it out of the park.
That's right.
They are.
You can buy a house there for $35,000. The lady there,
where?
In Alberta.
Down payment. She must mean down payment.
Down payment.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
The $35,000 down payment for a house.
Yes.
Their economy is all based on rewarding being productive, and it's all good for their prime minister.
True.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Nobody said says you have to start your first house in downtown Vancouver. Still, if you go to Langley or if you go a little bit past to Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, they're building stuff for $200,000-$300,000 for the whole unit. So all they need to do is put a $30,000, and most parents are willing to help their children. They don't even ask for it. It's not even an interest to them. You know,
it's another generation. It's a
another
different belief.
generation.
Why own when
Yeah,
you can rent, and then you have the freedom to, because there's a whole lot of topic there too. I mean, the careers are different now, right? The brick and mortar is changing. So a
Yes.
lot of businesses don't have to be in a business, a building. They can work online. I would go out and say half the businesses are online, if maybe even more. So there's a freedom then to live anywhere in the world, which then you could rent here for a year, rent there for a year, and even with your children, then they're getting the experience of living in different cultures, learning new languages, having that experience growing up, learning in the dirt, learning in the bush, learning in the water versus learning in a classroom. There's a lot of differences. There's a very different world that we live in now, that the opportunities are just different. So I don't know if it's a matter of what's right or wrong, unless we're coming back to those cultural beliefs and what our parents instilled in us, and so we'll instill in the kids. It's choices, right? Letting them to know that they have choices. You can rack up a bunch of debt and buy a house and work, to pay that off, or you could save, invest, and move around, travel. I mean, there's so many different options now.
Yeah.
I just, all I'm trying
Money
to
creates
say
options.
is let's not get into, even though I 100% agree, Meeka, this is what's being sold to our young people. You're helpless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
my
That's
God.
exactly
This
what
is the victimhood.
Yeah,
They're
100%.
all trying to look for someone to point the
They
finger.
are. Yeah.
Look, when I graduated from dental school, my debt was $100,000. $100,000 in 1991. At that time, you could buy a palace in Surrey for $100,000. So let's put that to today's term. It's like somebody graduating from school with about $1.5 million worth of debt. Forget everything else. I wasn't looking at buying a house or anything like that. I knew that today, when you gave me my certificate, I'd have to work for at least 20 years of my life just to pay the government.
Wow.
Yeah.
But nobody sat there and said,
Wow.
oh my
Don't bother.
God,
Yeah.
what should I do? Should I live at my mom's basement? Let's get the hell out of this basement. That's fine, because we don't want to hear how they pinched, pennies forever, and how Iran had a revolution and they had to run with nothing on their backs. I just want to be out of this house.
Yes.
And what is the first thing we can afford, and how can we juggle 2 jobs? So I would do 2 jobs. In the morning, I was a dentist, and in the afternoon, they couldn't find an assistant. I would be the assistant for the other dentist.
Wow.
So that we could start paying off. Now, you say that to your children, and they go, we heard it, Mom. We're not you. Well, I don't care how you're doing it, but
Just
zip
do it.
Just do it.
Zip
Just do it. Yeah.
You
Roll up your
know?
sleeves.
There's
roll
no
up
jobs.
Yeah.
Be an Uber driver. Ooh, me with these nails? Yeah, you with those nails.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right, Meeka. They are selling them this Kool-Aid of it's all.
Yeah.
Look at the price of homes.
Yeah.
Look at the price of the
They're
theater.
disempowering the
They're
next generation.
disempowering.
And they're disempowering every generation. I think
But
it's
I
not
do
just
want to
that.
ask all of you a question. Do you think people should be able to earn billions of dollars?
I'd like to answer that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's your okay.
Yes, because I'd like to be one of those people. And the reason I'd like to be one of those people is what you shared earlier. I have big dreams of helping. I want to really make a really, really, really big impact. And it doesn't have to be $1 billion, but I do think there's a responsibility. I should never
Yes.
see $1 billion in my account. That wouldn't be my goal. My goal
Beautiful
would be
distinction.
to allow billions to come to me, because I know that I have the heart and the desire and the vision to keep that billion going out where it's needed and make a difference. So I would actually love more billionaires
Yes.
who have that heart, the giving heart. So yes, I say yes, very, very loudly. And unapologetically, and I say yes, yes, yes. And I like to be like, I'm
Wonderful.
already talking to the universe, so we've got a deal going.
Yeah,
It's coming, it's
yes.
coming. But, and it really is not to accumulate it, but to have it come in so that it can go out. And yeah, I think yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
It's just money.
I say yes too. and I completely agree with what Sandeep said, because when certain people have all that money, they're like, how do we get other people thinking about lifting themselves up and doing something productive and joyous with their lives? It's like, so for instance, high school, they don't teach enough about money. They do not teach enough about how do we emotionally regulate. I would love to bring so many different things that actually work into our education system, like actually work and really instill all these incredible values to our children. So once they graduate high school, they have these set of tools that they're going to carry with them for the rest of their lives. That's what I would love to see, because thank you, Canada, for our education system, but it needs work.
Yes.
There are so many areas in our country that need work, and to have people like us spearheading this works, let's do this for our children, so that in turn they can give it to their children, and it just keeps repeating on and on and on. So I would love that too. 100%.
How about you too?
I love Sandeep's idea of, and I totally agree with it. There's a saying in Persian, if the water stays somewhere, it will start to stink.
Yes.
Even water.
Yes.
So everything has to flow. My question came from what Elon Musk did in US. And he, to me, represents the current Marwa Antoinette.
What did he do?
So he cut so many jobs, saying that he was saving the government money. And overnight, so many working people lost their livelihood. The father all of a sudden couldn't even bring food to the table. They called it saving U.S. money, but what it did is they cut so many jobs that had been there for years, or what they're doing with their electrical or non-driver cars. Because when those cars come out, the drivers who would drive trucks or cars or Ubers or taxis are going to be out of a job.
But that's evolution. That's necessary. We don't ride horses anymore.
I get
We're
that,
not,
Meeka.
We're not in like wooden wheels where the carpenters are all out of business. We now have tires, and then the oil industry is out of business because we have electric. And then it's evolution. It happens with everything. Everything has to shift and change and grow, or like even water, it starts to stink.
Just think, but the reason is humanity. We're not talking single jobs. If they're being constantly replaced by machines.
So this is a great topic, because I lived in Tahiti. Okay, I lived on the island of Morea for a year, and it is an incredibly different lifestyle where people fish,
Yes,
and they pick fruit and they garden. They nourish themselves with healthy food that they've grown, that they've earned, and then they have their family, their kids, they teach them outdoors, they respect nature, and they're not working. They've got an entire society where they're enjoying their lives, growing their food, fingers in the ground, singing in the evening for rain or to stop raining, the community. I mean, we have designed a life here that is dependent on 9 to 5. What if?
yeah.
What if we had enabled technology to give us the freedom that may be scary because it's such a big shift? And what if the visionary, because I think Elon Musk is a visionary, and he's not the best at communicating maybe what his vision is. And he's genius. He's brilliant. And he doesn't have to explain himself based on results. He's created some phenomenal results with the rocket saving people and all these. I mean, the stuff that the guy has done. I have faith in his vision that it's going to look messy. I mean, in war, there are tens of thousands of people that are sacrificed by sergeants and captains because these people have chosen to go to war to fight for their country, to die for their country in order for something else to happen. And the colonel will send the front line out knowing that 90% of them are never going to come back, but that's what they sign up for. So who am I to judge that piece of the pie? Because everything has its place. And if we just look at things as one at a time, it's very easy to get caught up in that's right or that's wrong. If we're willing to pull back and look at the big picture and how sometimes pieces move and they don't make sense, to have faith that it will all work out if we have the intention, if we're universally working together for that greater good, which I believe most of us are. And it gets messy. It's a different perspective. It's a different perspective.
When I look at Elon Musk, I remember that movie, Don't Look Up. People like that, if you are really concerned about Earth, people that are in it, you don't be looking at Mars. You'll be fixing about what you have right here. You cannot have a person destroy their home here and give them yet another home and say they're going to be treating that better.
Unless he believes that we have passed the point of no return on Earth because of the destruction
that has
and the
already
chaos.
caused.
So maybe he is a
Looking-
visionary beyond what we're even capable of imagining. I choose to look at that lighter side. I choose to have, because it gives me
hope,
peace and hope and opportunity to think for bigger. And I'm not, this isn't right or wrong. It's
No. Well, we were talking about money, Meeka. We weren't talking about future of Earth.
but him cutting jobs
and him cutting jobs right
mhm.
now and being so clueless to say, why are people mad at me? Let them eat cake. Like he doesn't even realize what he's doing and how he's affecting thousands of people right now. I'm not talking about
Maybe
future.
he does.
No,
Maybe
he
he
doesn't.
does. He
Meeka.
lives in a tiny little box. He doesn't own any real estate. He invests everything that he makes back into his business. He lives so simply, wears these t-shirts and jeans all the time. He's a very simpleton. He is. And
Well, I don't know him personally, so I can't say what he lives in. I just know what
based
kind
on
of
him
alimony he pays to his wife.
sleeping in
His 11 wives and his 22 children.
because he's worried about the population. So everything that he's doing, he's created a school for the smartest kids in the world who are misunderstood to come and create for the future. I mean, if we're going to pick on someone, I think let's look at bigger picture. Not
Let's
just one.
not pick at anyone and just go back to our subject of money and what we think about it.
He's
how
such a
much we
great
love it.
subject of money.
And I know a lot of people at Tony Robbins just worship him. They think he's a genius.
This has nothing to do with Tony.
I said my piece on him.
Yeah.
So anyways, cutting all these jobs concern me because a lot of our self-worth comes from earning, giving to other people, providing for our children and family. And if tomorrow somebody came and say, you don't have to work, just sit at home, we'll give you $10,000 a month, I think humanity will perish because we take pride in what we do. We were just sharing, Sandeep was saying she saw somebody at the airport taking the job of cleaning and looking after everybody at the airport. By nature, we have to provide value, to value ourselves, to love ourselves. And money is one way of showing people we love, we care about them, that we can provide for them. And that's why our husbands try so hard to earn money. That's why the fathers, they get appreciation when the children say, thank you for everything you've given us. So yes, a form of energy. Yes, it's wonderful to give it. And I said in balance. I think anything out of balance gets to be a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, if you have billions, and I think many of the very wealthy people give it freely.
Yeah.
They make schools, they make, and I don't like the idea of people saying, let's stick it to the rich or let's tax them to death, because they do create the jobs.
Yeah.
Jimmy Pattersons of this world create the jobs and they create the opportunities. So I'm all for it. But billions just seemed a little excessive to me.
Sorry.
To me.
I won't
But I think
apologize.
if you are
Sorry,
going to give it away,
Sorry,
I
that's
think
right.
that's
Yes,
amazing.
because if they tax me and I say, yeah, sure, tax me.
Yeah.
Fine, go build schools. Let's do some good with this money. You'll say, you're a nice billionaire. I like you. And why can't we envision the billionaires to be that?
They
And
mostly
are that.
They
They
are
mostly
that.
are
They
Yes,
mostly
yes.
are.
So the more billionaires with heart, I say yes, yes, yes. Let's get more of them. I'm just thinking of a completely different topic in terms of what do we think? Do women, this is completely off topic, like on topic but off topic, do women have a difficult time believing that they are worth charging what they could charge, like for the services they provide? Is that a generalization?
I think that's generalization.
Yeah.
I think, to cup that as women, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some women, yes.
Some, yeah.
It's based on, I believe, growing up, or who your influences are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, a bunch of my colleagues are having an interesting time asking, because we, in our line of work, we just want to give, 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 give.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just want to give this to you. I totally want to give this to you. And so, our director, EFT Universe, is always hosting and saying, okay, this is how we let this go, and we know you guys want to give, but you also need to create and make something. So I think with small business owners who have never gone into anything before, or newbie entrepreneurs, I think have a really tough time, because for 40, 50 years of their lives, they've never had to just rely on themselves, and now they are. Now they're like, what do I do? How do I do this? What's the next step? And
Guilt, I think, with people who are in medicine, dentistry, your job, yours, people who deal with other people, any way of health related. You know how many patients have said to me, you're a dentist, for Christ's sakes, and you are charging me? Like, how dare you? And that would be for charging them $25 for a diagnostic that I went 30 years.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, well, you don't go to Safeway and get mad and say, how dare you charge me $100? I have to eat. But people have an expectation from healthcare professionals, like we should just give, and not expect anything back. We feel put that pressure on us. I don't know how many dentists I've heard saying, I feel guilty charging them, they can't afford it. But I was just sharing this with Meeka at lunch. One of our employees who is going through a very hard time, and we all knew it, just came up with $14,000 to do surgery on their family pet. And people will find money for what they value. People will say to me, oh, I can't afford to buy $1,000 crown. Are you kidding? This is highway robbery. Meanwhile, they're, holding a Gucci handbag that's $5,000. Like, it doesn't connect. It doesn't. So people don't value their health. They get upset if healthcare professionals charge a fee. But my patients don't blink an eye. And that's the Indian community. They have amazing weddings. They spent on top of $150,000. And I was floored to hear the makeup artist was making $5,000 for the day. The makeup artist. Let me explain to you something. She washes that face that night. There goes the $5,000 down the toilet. And this is the same person who's telling you they can't afford $1,000 crown for their general health.
Mm-hmm.
So money, what people think, what they see as worthy,
Yes.
Right.
because they're looking at that wedding pictures for all their life, right? So that $5,000 has value, but nobody sees the crown at the back of my mouth. You know, that pull it. It's got no value. The fact that it's related to your health, to your chewing, to your digestion, none of that gets factored in.
It doesn't.
So people will also determine what value they put on stuff. And to your point, charge what you think is a fair. Not that you're breaking the bank, but also fair to your family, because you're taking time away from them to be with this other person.
Yeah. And it took a little while to really understand all this. Like being a new business owner and trying to figure out like what is it that I'm giving. And I also found out that a lot of my colleagues aren't even close to setting anything up or receiving money. And it's so it's really, really interesting where these where new business owners are coming into their own and just figuring things out. And I'm like, oh my God, because I've been tapping and I'm like, I am so worthy. I deserve this. I'm excited. I'm giving you something and more. I'm always giving more. And I'm like, this new feeling is endless. And I'm enjoying it, loving it. And I think it takes time for women to really understand that about themselves, that they truly are worthy of receiving. And it's important to keep that cycle going, because then our kids see it too.
And being willing to have people say no.
Yes.
Right. I think so much of the value that we get is when people want to work with us or want to hire us. There's so much joy in our worthiness. I mean, our ego, it's a natural feeling. And when we raise prices and people start to say no, that's a wall that we must be willing to get over or get through or go around or whatever suits your phrase. I think one of the greatest things that I ever did was join a mastermind that was $20,000 a year US. $20,000 a year plus travel, 4 trips on top of that. And each trip was and this was not Tony Robbins. And the greatest value that I got out of all of that, being a part of that mastermind for 2 years, was number one, the friendships, of course. And next to that was not the content, no disrespect. It was all amazing. It was knowing my worth so that I could come home and launch my mastermind and be willing to charge for it. And if I want to let somebody into my mastermind without paying the full price, that's my decision
choice.
because whatever the reason is. And having that confidence to charge thousands of dollars to be in my mastermind, that came from painfully paying $30,000 is what it really is, Canadian, to be part of that mastermind. So we learn in different places how to value the dollar and value ourselves. And it's also the people that you will attract that you get to serve, because the higher price you pay, typically, not across the board, the more committed your clients are to coming in. And I know in my mastermind, the people that, have paid the full amount to be there are all in, and they're paying every second, and they're contributing, and they're all in. And those that didn't aren't.
100% agree with that.
Yes.
We used to do so much pro bono, and those guys were the ones that wouldn't show up. You're doing the bloody work for free, and they wouldn't even show up.
Yeah.
And Tony Robbins said that too. He goes, I have enough money that I choose to charge whatever I can, and I won't give it cheaper because people won't value it.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're being cruel or whatever, but you won't value the work if you haven't paid your hard-earned money for it. And when I was working up north in Canal, the government used to give a certain sector of people free homes. And they would trash these homes. They would just walk away, and the government would just give them another home. And you would be like, and I would be like, why did they trash it?
And
Why
we're the
did they
government.
trash it?
Yeah.
We're the government.
We're the government.
We're
now.
getting it.
And I'm all with you guys. We should keep our own money and decide which charity or what we want to give it to.
Yeah.
So the government would just give them this money, and they would do this exact same thing to this other new house. And it's because it was just given to them. There were stories of bathtubs being like
no ownership,
no pride,
pride.
nothing.
Well, they're not
So
connecting
nothing
the value
into it.
to it, right? The value, maybe they don't feel that there's
Mhm.
value to it
Yeah.
because it's been given to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The moment
No
you eat
earning.
an $11 gelato, doesn't it taste better than a $2 gelato? Like it could be the same gelato. I'm just for me. I'm like, oh, this tastes so much better.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
honest. It's like
yeah.
eating organic apple versus a regular
Yeah.
apple. Like I know that I paid more for it, and therefore I'm going to enjoy it that much more. It's just
And coming to the value, guys, if somebody wins the lotto tomorrow,
Mhm.
20 million, you check with them 20 more months and they're back to being where it was. Because it needs discipline to make it.
Yes,
it needs
does.
discipline to save it.
Yeah.
It needs discipline to give it to the right person and invest it the right way and value money and respect it. And it doesn't mean worship it. It just means respect for the fact that hard work was put into it. And that's why so many rich people, kids, will lose all their parents' wealth.
Right.
Mhm.
This is, I wanted to answer the billionaire question.
Yes, please do.
So I want to become a billionaire because of the woman I will become in the process.
Yes.
Nice.
The woman that I would need to become
I love that.
and the value that I would need to bring to the world in order for that exchange to happen. I mean, that it's not about the money. It's about the person that, I get to be in the process, the lessons I learned. And that, just to touch on what you were talking about, if the lottery winner wins it, they lose it. You know, you don't know what to do with it. You haven't gone through the pain of losing. I remember the first $10,000 investment I lost. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. And then another $10,000 investment. I did my due diligence. I went to the bank. I changed it to US dollars. I did this. I did that. Like I thought, I knew the person. I knew their background and then gone, and gone again. So those lessons we have to, what is, the dumb tax is
Dumb
called.
tax.
Yeah, dumb tax. Keith Cunningham, dumb tax. We have to pay dumb tax. And maybe that's my limiting belief in order to prosper, to become that woman that's going to be a billionaire. I know there's going to be dumb tax. There's going to be the willingness to have people say, no, you're crazy, or to slam my vision or not understand why I do certain things and just tune them out.
Yeah.
And just know where I'm going. And there's going to be haters and there's going to be naysayers and there's going to be people that want me to explain everything that I'm doing. I don't have time for that. Ladies in Power podcast is going to be on national television. We're doing a Netflix series, and that's it.
And Oprah is actually coming back only to interview us for.
Yeah.
You
heard it here first.
She's going
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
time.
Yes, I agree. Looking forward to this. Excited.
I really love that. I love that, Meeka. Like I'm just envisioning, yes, you have to become the match for the frequency of the $1 billion. You have to
100%.
work through so much, so much of the mindset. Like I think back to many, many years. This is 2007. And, hubby and I read The Secret.
Oh, yeah.
And this was like such a new concept.
Yes.
Like, what? You can just attract wealth? Well, we were all over it. So we ended up going to a different city and we were like just having dinner and everything was just beautiful and everything was wonderful. I'm like, this is the secret. We're in the secret right now. This is the secret. And lo and behold, we met a realtor and we're like, you're part of the secret. You just showed up at our, like, why are you here? You must be part of the secret. So we buy this investment property and we're like, yes, this is all signs. Like, we're just in that, I didn't even know the right word. But anyway, we bought the property. However, I did not understand a lot of what I was talking about. So the frequency of abundance was definitely not there, because 2008 comes and it's massive recession and fear. Because we haven't spent this kind of money. We're kind of a newishy, you know, like married couple, like less than 10 years, still establishing, like all those massive student loans and debts. And all of a sudden, I'm just consumed with fear. And like little minor details all the time. Like, oh my God, we don't have a tenant right now. This is, and so much fear that thing, like, we bought it probably at the peak of prices and it tanked. Like, it tanked. But looking back now, I can see, oh yes, that makes perfect sense because of so much fear attached around it. That yes, it could only tank. It was only going to tank because if we were truly the secret, we were repellents. We were just repellents. Like, but now I have such a greater understanding. So as you're speaking about, yes, as a billionaire, who would I become as a woman? Yes. What process am I going through? There's a lot. There's a lot. And you have to stay so consistent with the vision and have the certainty beyond logic that we've talked about before. Yes. Be in the unknown, but know that everything's working out for you as long as you stay true to your vision. And the vision, I mean, this is what I understand. The vision is given because it already exists. Yeah. And so if my vision of being a billionaire already is a reality, I just have to match the frequency to pull it to me. 100%. And that is my work right now, is staying in that space of certainty. Yeah. And so now you guys hear me talk all the time. We're going to magnetize it. We're magnets. We're not chasing, we're pulling. We are just being so in our authenticity, and we're so in love with what we do. Right? So we just
all the negativity.
Yes. See ya. That when you're so in love with what you're doing, we only can pull goodness to us. Yeah. And whatever that goodness is going to look like, however we envision it, it's only going to come back to us. I would like to share a little full circle moment with the gelato story that I'm very proud of. So my daughter and I very recently, this is now 8 years later, we just did our first mother and daughter trip away. And before I went on the trip, my thought was, you're going to show her that you are not that scarcity mindset. You know, and we talk a lot about this. I'm very open about my journey with her and my son. And I said to myself, at the end of this trip, what's your goal? The goal is she's going to say, I had the best time with my mom. And no matter how many times she asks me for gelato, we're going to have gelato every single day. And I kid you not, we found this cute shop and gelato it was every day. And, you know, I felt like, and it was no stress. I wasn't even thinking about it. It was just the joy of seeing, do I have a gelato? Like, yeah, of course. It's like, of course, it's gelato time, right? Yes. And it just in my mind, and she has no idea this was such an intentional thing that I was doing. But she's definitely... She will now. Yeah, she will now. But she did. She noted the difference. And I was really proud that we're not stuck to who we are. Yes. No. We evolve, we change, and who I am today is not who I'm going to be a year from now. And I'm okay with that because we continue to learn. And so that was my just full circle gelato story.
Love it. And saying I am, like when you envision yourself being that billionaire. So I just finished reading Neville Goddard. I was telling you about.
Yeah, in the car.
And Neville is also, his book is also 80, 90 years old. And he said, you need to put yourself in there first and work backwards. So place yourself in that space. How are you reacting? How is everyone behaving around you? How are you enjoying it? How are you sharing it?
How are you standing? How are you dressing?
Yes.
How are you?
How are you thinking? It's like, oh my God, I can do this and I can do that. So I find it so amazing that if we place ourselves in that position right away, like we totally envision ourselves in that place first and just like resonate in it, I think it comes faster.
I agree. You're collapsing time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you're in this grocery supermarket and you're deciding to help a family that, could use some help, it seems, that is the same feeling as a billionaire is going to have.
Yes.
When they do something very
Buy a
similar.
house for
It's this,
someone.
yeah, but it's the same feeling. So settling into that and not worrying about I'm giving them $10 or $50 or $100, just that same feeling. Why should it be any different when you're giving, buying someone a house? It's the exact
100%.
same feeling. So that's the thing you learn is in this moment in time right now, this is what I'm going to do because I can do it.
Yes.
And believe that it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But that feeling is, so important.
One of the things that Dr. Joe Dispenza, a lot of people go to Dr. Joe is for prosperity and abundance.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people go for health, some for relationship and abundance. And what I remember him teaching is 3 times a day minimum for 10 minutes. You're in the state of gratitude where you're feeling like you were just talking about, seeing the smile on someone's face or that feeling that you've been able to give, whether it's $5 or $500,000, that feeling, all the rush that goes from your gut that you feel in wherever you feel, the colors that you're expressing, what you're breathing, how you're standing, like to really bring yourself fully into that space of joy and gratitude for 10 minutes, 3 times a day is pretty much sums up what people pay tens of thousands of dollars for. And if we just had the discipline to do it, and even if you don't believe it, you do it anyway, because the more you do it, then you start to believe it. Like if you are thinking of buying a Tesla and all of a sudden you see Teslas everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one.
And your subconscious just takes on that blueprint.
Yeah.
The more you say it, the more you
Yeah.
feel it. This is what I understand too, is that the subconscious will just deliver the blueprint that you're giving it
Yes.
That's
throughout
exactly
the
it.
day, especially before. This is from Dr. Wayne Dyer's Wishes Fulfilled, that I'm just remembering all this, that right before you go to bed,
Yes.
just envision, feed your subconscious that vision of who you know you are. And the subconscious just goes to work because it doesn't know if that's your reality or not. That's why the
That's
feeling
exactly
is so
it.
important.
100%.
Because your subconscious has no idea. Are you feeling this way because you just bought somebody a house or you just bought somebody a sandwich? But if your vision is saying, I just bought somebody a house and wow, does this ever feel good? Subconscious is, wow, this person just bought a house. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Let's bring that into the material world. At least that's what I understand.
It's
and
true.
I-
Then all the
it's-
things start coming in. You
Yeah.
start seeing things,
Yeah.
hearing things, attracting people, because that wavelength is
It's-
going out, and it's
yeah.
like, oh, there,
Yeah.
over there,
Yeah.
It's
over there.
Yeah.
it's like having your antennas clean.
Yeah.
It's like having your
I
antennas
love
clean.
that.
Like they're all sparkly. You before you went to bed, maybe they were all dusty and grimy. And then as you're going to bed and as you're waking up, because of your new mindset, you made them sparkly clean, and now they're able to stand up and send out the signals, and the signals understand them. And it's like, I got you. I get what you want. I get what you want, and I will deliver it. So let's take all the stuff we don't need and get it out and be shiny and clean and sparkly. And sparkly. And sparkly.
Yeah.
And sparkly.
Yeah.
And we get you, and we want to deliver to you. So hopefully this was helpful. You've got some tools in your toolbox now to reach that abundance, that prosperity, that wealth that you may be seeking, or maybe you have wealth and you're looking to bring more joy. It's in that acts of service. The secret to living is giving, as we have all touched in one way or another. So thank you for joining us again today. Make sure to like if you liked it and leave a comment. It helps for other people to see the podcast. And with that, ladies,
See you next time.
Yay!
The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.